Hey guys, you're back with the letter? Let's go to the title screen. Quit main menu. When we last left off, we finished Rebecca's route. Which, finally, this ending was a lot better than how it started. Yeah, I won't say it's the... Well, what is the best ending yet? Yeah, it's a good enough ending. Did we only miss one CG? Oh, no, we missed more. Okay. And we finally started Ashton. It starts on October 28th, which is just, we skip all, I don't want to say meaningless stuff, but we skip the exposition. We skip right when Zachary's at the mansion, I think, looking for Ashton, but didn't find him because we didn't choose that option. And we got a memory fragment that I don't really know what to make of it. Yeah, it's Ghost, Luke Sr., Hannah Sr., Cat, two guys, and that's the professor, and that's the chief inspector. I solved the crime. Wait, no, this is the chief inspector. The professor likes cats. Okay, let's get started. Oh, oops. Continue. I read Ashton's profile last time. I'll just hover over it, since it still says new. Nothing really new. We don't know about him. Other than I'm taller than him. Shorter than Zachary. I don't know my exact height. I haven't measured myself in like a year or two. About a year or two ago, I was 5'9". So I'm probably like 5'10" now, maybe? Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe I stopped going, I don't know. Parties have never really been my thing. They're always such a hassle and take so much time off my day. Prior plans and commitments canceled, all for the sake of playing along with others.
Welcome everyone.
Oh, this is the day of the party, okay. That's still a good starting place. I hated them even as a child.
Please, make yourselves at home.
We're gonna find out what Ashton was up to. My mom often assisted. She slicked my hair back, pulled me up in one of those stuffy dinner jackets. If there were any children around, urged me to make friends. Never mind how utterly loud and tedious it was. I was all for the sake of keeping up appearances. And have I mentioned how huge this branching tree is? Oh yeah, when we have a relationship now. Oh, you're cool with Isabella, and pretty cool with Rebecca. They're actually tied, but Isabella... Wait. Oh, I guess Isabella starts lower. Huh. And, Zachary and him are... They're close. And they're all dead. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that one bit. To some extent, lies have already surrounded me, long before I've chosen what I wanted to do with my life. Luckily, there were easy ways to tune everything out. Much to my mom's frustration, I always managed to sneak my CD player along. CD player! Kept to myself into my music, and my own little world. So I learned to observe. It's a simple matter of awareness, really. For someone with keen eyes, a skewered necktie, or a simple flick of a wrist alone could tell volumes about a person. I don't like parties, especially ones as big as fancy as the Great's housewarming. However, when there's actual reason to go to them, I figure they're not too bad.
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
Besides, like it or not, it's all part of the job, and our mission. One that has the name Luke Wright plastered all over it. You'd think the man would remain inconspicuous, after his name was linked to several high-profile crimes across Luxborn. Huh. Yeah, like I said earlier, the chief inspector is like, you picked up the knife. He's like, oh, this smells like Luke Wright. And Ashton was like, oh, hey, you just got your fingerprints all over it. And he's like, oh, whoops. Oh, well. His fingerprints are already on it because he used that knife to murder someone. Because he's a ghost. Granted, most of everyone have gone cold over the years, getting stagnant without any leader evidence. That still doesn't make him any less suspect. Yet here he is throwing a party in his own backyard. Although, having observed the man this past year, not even shocked, craves it. The dang spotlight, constantly yearns for attention like a neglected puppy. Doesn't take a genius to figure out why he's nowhere to be found in his own party. Oh, hold on, before... Gotta go to recorded videos... is that 34? Alright, I've got to name a video. The letter 34-2. That's how I say videos. Just call them by their name, although, with some things I won't do the full name, it depends. Higamana is just Higamana, not the whole thing. The House of Fata Morgana is just Fata Morgana. Chaos Side doesn't have a semicolon. Eden of Grisaya is just Grisaya. You know, just simple title. It's not the problem here. What makes me mad now is how far off his reach extends. How close he has creeped into the lives of the people I care about. Again, the stubborn entry couldn't be weird out. First Professor Clark. Then there's Isabella. Wait, I thought it was Andrew. I also spotted Z-Man here a while ago, and now... I think there's also Rebecca.
Can't you at least act with a bit more shame?
Not this one.
Becca, if I find a single scratch on Shirley, there will be hell to pay.
There will also be heck to pay for so much as harms a hair on either Zach or Rebecca's heads. Sometimes the sprites look nice. Like, we haven't seen this one yet, and it's okay. You know, the whole closed eye thing doesn't really look good with the 2D, but still looks fine enough. But I've already done so with Isabella. I wasn't able to do a single thing to keep her safe. Can't let the same mistake happen again. Doubt will attempt anything in front of other people, though. What tarnishes Gloria's reputation, make Valerie's appearance is much more than anything. That doesn't necessarily mean he isn't capable of it. More than, in fact. Only after he does something. I want to be responsible for my actions.
Those guys know what they're doing. They're handling cars worth more than your precious Shirley.
For Zachary and Rebecca's sake, however, I really hope this will simply be another housewarming party. Even though something tells me it's anything but. Call it a detective's intuition, or whatever. Whoa! We're going for the best ending, the one where Ashton and Luke become best buds. That's gotta be an ending, right? They team up to stop. No, we have to go back, kill everyone except for Ashton and Luke. That's the supreme ending. When Luke gets involved, nothing good has ever come out of it. Can't let my guard down here. Even more so when a familiar car slows to a stop and comes up. Out comes...
Chief?
Wouldn't say Sprite in Rebecca's route. My presence here might be odd, at best, but I have an excuse. One that this man handed to me himself a year ago, along with a heavy dose of flattery for the newly promoted detective inspector. Can't exactly say the same for my good old boss, can I? Although, to see him here, trading it up with one's rich and famous, isn't such a big surprise in itself. No disrespect, man. The guy obviously is a social climber. What is surprising is the fact that he seems all too eager to mingle with a person of interest's wife. Just what the heck is he doing here?
Ashton, what's...
Sorry, Becca, I just saw someone I need to catch up with. Longtime friend.
What the heck is he doing?
Oh wait, Ash, what about...
This won't be long. Be careful while I'm gone, okay?
Hey, be careful! About what
I don't want to draw attention to myself either. This is not until he's giving me proper reason to spoil his little party.
Thank you for the invite, Anna. Husband still missing, I see.
I should be saying the same of your darling Rochelle, Lee. The doctors again.
For now, the best I can do is wait and remain inconspicuous. Forgot about this scene, but this happened in Hannah's route. Especially with Chief here, whose motives are dubious at best. If it means having to pretend I don't know Zachary and Rebecca, force myself to rub elbows with people I barely know, let alone like, then so be it. Can't involve anyone. Wandering is out of the question as well, and there are guards and civvies stationed here and there. Sure, getting past them is something I can do with ease, but that I'd rather not right now, when I'm one of the few snooping and roaming about. It'd be best to try and do so in this crowd of people. And if their interior designers' drunken claims are to be...
Yes, well, what about Luke? Should we file a missing persons report now, or do you want to wait 24 hours?
He's around.
You know, I can tell if someone's bluffing.
Oh, I'll come down to how well I play my cards tonight. With a good hand, this party's going to give me the breakthrough I need to crack Luke great, or something to prove my suspicions wrong. Maybe find out what kind of game my boss is also playing. Had an inkling before, a few hunches tempered down by how much of a bumbling fool the man appears. One does not simply deal with the rights and get invited to a party they host, without wanting anything from either of the two. Or it's the other way around. So with the last wary glance at the two, head into the ballroom. I just hope this will not complicate things further. Man! Oh, good save. Lots of what ifs. Like, it's kind of interesting. Let's see how the endings work. And there's one, looks like three. Is that 3 separate endings? Or is that just a choice that goes into the end? That could be either one, really. There's one where it ends a lot. Whoa! 5 or even depends on what these mean, but there's a lot of different endings. And with Rebecca's, we kind of died. Oh, I was kind of lagging there. Is my hard drive space okay? Oh yeah, I have 17 gigs. The time the body's in full swing, night has fallen. There still isn't a loot guard in sight. Man can be quite ostentatious, but this, frankly, I'm impressed. I don't even know how many hoist-of-ors I've already stuffed my face with. One too many, probably. The servers are already giving me a stink eye every time I saunter over the buffet table. Blame your employer, not me. He's the one who has the guts to show up late. Besides, most of the guests' idle talk is concentrated in this area. Despite standing in the same roof with the very people they're whispering about, some just couldn't resist. Might as well keep an ear out for any useful info.
Is Suarez still fixing that tech problem? Tech problem?
It's been 3 years. Sooner or later, the Blighter will put 2 and 2 together.
He might have already.
If the red tape I'm being slammed with these past few months suggest anything. What? Then there's someone who's been pulling the strings. Wouldn't be shocked. This case would not have gone on this long. Scumbag didn't have a mule, some kind in the force.
Shush you, we all know Suarez just wants an out.
Imagine it, a mule in the force. It's the chief inspector.
I knew he was bad news the day the merger with Evans Incorporated happened. Feh.
Glad I did not have to deal with that.
But keep it down, someone might hear. The wife especially.
This kind of negligence has always been an advantage, but sometimes, wish I could be smashed on while doing this. Having sharp ears also means you get to hear the most unsavory things. Who cheated on who this week? One person's motive for bashing someone's skull against a wall. Or father's excuse for burning his own daughter alive. Oh yeah, normal stuff. Those sort of stuff. After a few years, it gets tiring. You're desensitized to it. But humans could also be downright awful. Sometimes there simply isn't enough brain bleach in the world. Sadly, the wine is a no-go tonight, mostly for show. But for another drive later, for one, I definitely want to be sober in case anything comes up. Something always comes up in assignments like this. A detective inspector dying of cardiac arrest, for example. Because I can feel the moment my heart grinds to a halt. The second I shift my eyes to a corner of the ballroom.
Hana right.
And she's talking to Rebecca. Some will say I'm acting a touch bit paranoid, and maybe I am. This is a party, and she's the hostess. Just to say that she'll take time to mingle with her guests. And Hannah Wright, Nat Evans, isn't without a fair share of acolytes. At least to the public. She doesn't seem like it. Unlike her husband, she's the one with the business sense, not to mention the impressive track record in the managed a company. Or effectively had whatever irregularity there might be. She's clean, as far as my agents and I have found, but it doesn't reveal a lot of possible involvement with whatever her husband's up to. Heck, Luke Wright came out clean in previous reports, till I bothered to take a deeper look into it. What I found may not be sufficient to bring anyone to trial, yet, but it's enough to nurture suspicion. This might be a bit of an overreaction, but no one lasts long in my line of work by being careless.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
Don't know I'm here. Getting a phone call. Nothing to be worried about, then. She's probably even more careful with appearances than her own husband, having grown up with the spotlight focused on her. Yet, even knowing that, anxiety stays. Has been here since the party started. I brushed it off earlier. Who wouldn't feel edgy, right? Went undercover in a party hosted by the very person we're investigating. That in itself is risky, as there's plenty of room for error. Usually though, the tension passes around the first half hour or so, but trained to remain composed in situations like this. However, with each second I spend here, it only grows heavier and seeks to overwhelm. Odd feeling that someone is watching me instead. It's been like this since last week. I should already be used to this. People will be looking at me, no matter how small or big of a blip I am on their radar. That's what they do that's how they do these things? It's what they do in these things. Yeah, ghost. When the feeling of the eyes burning in my back lingers longer than necessary, then looking around every now and then to catch the culprit. No luck. Despite my efforts to push the sensation so far down as I could, tiny pinpricks continue to sting the back of my head. The ghost of a cold touch creeps up my limbs. Till my gaze switches back to Rebecca and Hannah Wright. She stands there, dark-eyed and dirty, sticking out like a sore thumb. Oh yeah, this happened in Hannah's. But Rebecca couldn't see the ghost because she was behind her. Even so, no one seems to notice. Although she's looking away from me, her mere existence here strikes. Disturbs. Says the tunnel vision binds while I stand stock still and gape at her. Like my life depends on making sure she stays where she is. Feel trapped in her presence. Till another guy bumps into me, yanking me out of my stupor. I'll move that door, I realized I've been holding my breath. Before I can figure out what happened, she's gone. Quick scan of the room, there's no sign of her. Party continues as if nothing's amiss. Not really wanted to judge, but I'm sure someone like that would not have been allowed in a fancy thing like this. What has the security been doing? Are you think that incompetent? Someone so distinct to easily get in without notice? No, they've been in here the whole time. Because they're a ghost. Should have been an outcry by now, particularly from the host. She's been standing almost an arm's length away from the woman, yet she simply continues her talk with Rebecca.
Oh, the professor! And your little Becky!
My parents couldn't make it since they're in Scotland right now. And Mom says hi, by the way.
Is there something in the food then? I'm starting to see things. Couldn't have been the wine though. Everybody's sober as when I first stepped out of my car. The horse divorce? But why would anyone want to do that? Why would Luke Wright want to do that? He's fishy, but I can see why he'd ever think it'd be a good idea to release the food he'd served in his party. Someone like chiefly on his guest list to boot. It's been linked in narcotics trade, yep. However, that kind of tactic is below him. That much I could tell. Unless there's been a mass murder waiting to happen here tonight, which I highly doubt. So...
What the fuck was that?
But there's no time to look deeper into this, even if I want to. Now, a telling silence comes from under the room and draws everyone's attention to the main doors of the ballroom.
About damn time.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party. I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the right mansion.
I've been tailing this guy for a while now. Before that, I heard stories from previous officers who tackled this case, none of which are pleasant. Mind, I'm not counting the incident with Professor Clark, yet pleasant is grossing over the gravity of it. Well, Wright's good at covering whatever shitty stuff he's doing. He's shown to be a real grinding guy. At least, that's the case when he thinks none of his peers are around to judge him. Let's track of how many counts of verbal abuse and harassment cases the guy could be pinned with. Standing in the same room as him doesn't make me want to punch him any less. Actually, the urge is stronger, but protocols. My cases, first and foremost. My own opinion of the man, trying to get ahead of the purpose here. I'm still gonna go, so I'm gonna get... After I finish, I'll decide, you know, but... Gotta get the Everybody Lives ending. Well, gotta get the true ending. This just, come on. Everybody Lives ending. The Ashton and Luke become best buds ending. This gotta happen. And then, is there anything else? Yuri ending? I mean, I'm not really... It involves Mary Ann, so no. Harem ending for Luke? I hope that's a thing.
Welcome one and all to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are our ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen, if you would excuse my presumptuousness. So, enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses as we only allowed the best to be served. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone!
Suppressing my annoyance, I prepared to step away from the crowd. Next to cheers and claps, as a good time as any to move. Try to find that something that the Colin woman's talked about. In the first place, I have no plans to actually shake hands with the slime ball himself. Fake smile splashed around my face, while I pretend to listen to one of the other kids gasping about him. All while slowly inching out of the ballroom. Fortunately, before I could get any further...
Are you feeling ill, Rochelle? Perhaps you need to sit down and...
Rich people only have two ways to resolve their mess. Either they quietly deal with it behind closed doors, and they create an even greater problem out of it, which just blows up in everybody's faces. One way or another. Fun.
No! Shut it, you
Skipping your
mother.
voice acting.
I ain't talking to
Can't
you,
stand it.
bloody...
Not even a few seconds in, and this is already proving itself to be a big public spectacle. Why spend money on a television to buy daytime soap operas? You just go to one of these parties and see the action unfold in your life. Get free food too. Really, if I were an actual guest, I'd just take this as some sordid form of amusement.
Watch your tongue! You're on thin ice, Rochelle. Where's your husband? Who even invited you?
But I'm not a guest who's here for a good time. I need to focus on him, even through this whole sorry tale. So I wait and listen, observe. Interesting. Isn't it though? My song. That's the Chief Inspector's wife. October 29th, Saturday. Okay, he didn't find Marianne that day. Okay. What? About 20 minutes in? Okay. The morning after starts off quiet. Even the whole of Salem Oil residence seems unusually still. The open hallway, when I step out, is devoid of tenants. No sound coming from the other units either. So notice as if something's brewing on the horizon. Peaceful night's sleep still does wonders for the mood, though. Can't even remember the last time I slept without anything urgent interrupting. It's a nice break from all the bad news lately. If it wasn't for the insistent buzzing in my pocket waking me up, I'd sleep in. What day did Rebecca die? 30th? Yep. The ringing has stopped before I can move somewhere private. Sleep has been effectively kicked out of my system by then. Pity. Could use a little more rest. Don't have to face the other storm. Of course I owe Rebecca an explanation. Doesn't matter if it's the whole truth or another hastily spun tale. Though I haven't really figured out how to go about this one, yet. Unlike Zach and Isabella, we don't usually ask questions, so I'm content with what little I can share. Rebecca's rather quick on the trigger. I'll have to be set aside for later, though.
Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe City. Baggers, watch out, can't beat
The chief's name stares back at me, almost as if it's mocking me.
I'm a cool dude, pretty fly for an Asian
Sad.
guy.
It would have been nice to just chill after last time, or maybe half listen to the news.
Baggers, watch out,
Okay.
can't beat me. Looking for trouble?
That's nice.
Better not
Just the
lie.
same thing
I'm
we've
a
been hearing
cool
lately.
dude,
Toby
pretty
standing
fly
outside
for
in the
an
chilly
Asian
Let's
guy.
Born morning. The
Sup,
fun with my
I'm Ash
boss.
from Deluxe
Saying
City.
they answered.
Baggers,
Only to
watch
get this
out.
over with.
Ray, where are you right now?
Now that's a tone I didn't expect from her at this hour. Just thinking how this will go already gives me a headache. Immediately, I reach up and pinch the bridge of my nose to stave it off.
This is why I won't ever drink myself senseless.
What was that?
Nothing, Chief. A pleasant morning to you, too.
Surely calling to rag on me or complain about his wife, which is really none of my business unless it affects my case. Seems like the usual rich man treats on his wife deal. Although I want to follow up on it, if it were somebody else's wife. But figuring it's the chief's, just him to come clean if the missus is related to the raid's shady dealings. This is why I left before they even hauled the woman out last night. Not gonna go around investigating cheating husbands and wives. Well, it's probably just that. Chief appears to have a different idea in mind, though.
There's nothing pleasant in the morning. Anyway, where are you? I told you millions of times before to keep your lines open.
He did, and not only him. Zach, Rebecca, Isabella, all of them have said the same thing numerous times in the past. I was undercover last night. Phone call is the last thing I want to happen. And there are other things I need to focus on at the time. That's gonna end up killing him, isn't it? Besides, we have radios and work history phones. Why isn't he using those channels if this is their... I mean, that inadvertently killed Zachary, didn't it? Because he was trying to call him... I mean, Isabella? No. Definitely not Hannah. Definitely not Marianne. And Rebecca called him. She still died. But she called him. Yeah, it lags when I open the Ashton. It's so big. Can't render these high detail branching graphics.
Just woke up, sir. As awesome as it is to hear your voice this morning, it really is early. If you could give me a few minutes just to wake myself up, that'd be swell.
No need for that. This won't take long.
Is something wrong? Am I needed at the precinct ASAP?
Oh
ASAP.
no, everything's good over there. Just... Look, kid. Pray. Don't take this personally, alright? You're off the Luxborn firm case. Starting today.
Well, I did not expect to hear that either. This must be some kind of cosmic joke. And allow some awkward seconds to pass. She must be pulling another one of his awful pranks. Out of his bad mood or a severe hangover, maybe? Everyone knows that when given the chance, he exercises no control with his drinking. If it wasn't for his wife causing a stir, he'd probably be trashed from now in at the party. He'd likely drink more after they threw her out of the ballroom. Besides, his sense of humor has never been good. It's just infuriating most of the time. But when he doesn't follow it up. If I sound a tiny bit frustrated speaking to my own superior, I'm not the one to blame.
Wait, no. What? Are you kidding, Chief? Is this one of your practical jokes again? The temps won't say anything about it, but
It's not that. They're orders. From the higher-ups.
Ah, the higher-ups. Yes, my favorite word. Since when the higher-ups ever cared? Since when... Yeah. Should be when have, or when did they ever care? About what the Criminal Investigation Department did. As far as I can tell, I don't give a hoot if SID is filled with the cold cases, as long as we keep the spending low. When I need to view those old case files, though, they're locked away in the archives. I'm gonna have to check with the higher-ups. Need access to these reports? So the higher-ups would allow it. Every step, every move. Bracket/I, in this case. There isn't one that hasn't been gated by some authority. Italics. If it's not the chief, it's the commissioner. So they always tell me. Makes one wonder why they even bothered assigning it to anyone. Not even a single one of them has done anything to help move the case. They wonder why it's taken this long for even a hint of progress.
you can't just drop this on me. You can't just take me off like that.
Yes, I can. And I'm sorry, Ashton.
3 years, Chief. 3 years!
3 years since that anonymous tech leak blew up. Since Luke Wright's name was openly linked to several nasty dealings within Luxborn's corporate world, some of them involving deaths. 3 years, and I was the only one who made it this far. Made much progress that officers with more experience weren't able to do when they handled this case. Just within a year, with barely any help from the dang brass at that. Of course, I'll be mad now.
Do you know what would have happened if I didn't work my ass off on this thing? If I didn't dedicate a whole year of my time on it, it would have gone cold. Like every fucking case Luke Wright has been linked to. I saved this from getting thrown into the archives, sir. I'm getting close. If you could just...
I'm fully aware of what you've done, Frey, but the Commissioner hasn't been happy with your progress. Still too slow by their standards.
Too slow? Well, what about those reports I filed? I've documented every freaking thing for them. I've given you every important lead I can gather. Isn't that enough?
They need results, not a bunch of research papers. Not one baseless assumption after another. Concrete proof, Frey. I'm really sorry. They've already made a decision. They're going to pass
Not
it
they,
on to someone
I mean,
who's been in the
myself.
force longer. Someone who has
I
more
would-
experience.
I would actually like it if this guy isn't evil, just because I don't like it when the police end up being, someone in the police force ends up being the villain.
Someone who has more experience?
They meant nothing by it, but you're still too young to work on a case this big.
Chief, I've already done more than what those old farts ever did behind their
Gonna call it
desks.
there.
All of it, within just a year of being assigned to this.
I said I'm gonna call it there, and I said it, but I forgot to say bye. So bye, everyone. I have a few minutes till I gotta go, but I mean, and might as well just do it now. And it's the middle of a conversation. I can understand the conversation.
Watch your language, Frey. Those are your superiors,
I'm not some damn rookie fresh out of training. I'm as qualified as they are.
Futile. I know it is. They never say it within my earshot, but from the very minute I stepped in their precinct, a lot of them had underestimated me. The stairs alone, they signed my ticket. To them, still just a kid. Too young, too green, too inexperienced. Once they pull that card on me, every argument I have gets thrown out the window. No matter how logical it is, no matter how I've accomplished, what the records say, or the amount of work I've put in every investigation they've thrown my
We're
way.
all aware of your skills, kid. You wouldn't have that badge and rank if you weren't good enough. However, this case is just not for you. Too high profile, too risky to put a good officer like you in harm's way.
Can he even hear himself? The reasoning is odd in itself. No one joins the line of work without knowing the dangers
Don't
of
I
it.
get a second chance? You said it yourself. I'm a good detective. It'll just be a matter of time before we can close this.
It doesn't matter what I think, Frey. You're off the case, and that's final. I expect all related files and documents on my desk by Monday morning. And don't even try to go touch anything. I know how hard-headed and determined you are.
So he goes and tries to touch something.
Chief, please. A few more weeks. I'll have the proper evidence left on your desk by then. I swear it won't take longer than that.
Fred, it's too late, boy. I've already informed the other officers. You aren't to be allowed access until you've been given a new assignment. Hell, just keep out of the precinct, Frey. Take the weekend off.
Seriously, Chief, is this about last night? If this is about me being at that party, I have a good reason for...
You were at the party.
Uh-oh. Makes me pause. His weird tone, the sudden careful note in his voice. Slowly, a frown forms in my face. My eyebrows knitting together in confusion. Much as I hate to say this about my own boss, there's also suspicion in it. Hard not to think of it anyway. Hard not to think about it that way, seeing how he acted around Hannah Wright last night. Is he worried? Or should he be? Everyone who's anyone was invited. Didn't doubt for a second why he received an invite, even if his presence wasn't questionable. There's something wrong, and I've unintentionally walked into it. All I have is the sneaking suspicion. Okay. No one looks at it from this different angle, but everything's together. Oh, scary! The middle three numbers of that phone call are 666. And am I gonna die? Is it a ghost? What the heck if I take it off the case? Might have been the same reason he was there in the first place. Uh-oh.
Yes, Chief, I was. For a good reason. A friend invited me to go with her. What were you doing there? I know we don't have a strict rule against attending functions, but that was...
He coughs, and it almost sounds like he's choking on his own excuses? Lies? I don't want to accuse him of anything, yet. He's someone I've respected until I joined LPD, even with his bizarre sense of humor and tendency to procrastinate. He's obviously competent enough to get the job done. He wouldn't be Chief Inspector of Luxborn if he wasn't. He wouldn't last years in the service without some track record backing him up. Unless that too is a fluke. What's backing him up is not something But someone. Oh. Oh. Uh-oh. Freaking heck. Freaking man.
Chief Harvey, about last night with the...
Why does it matter, Frey? This isn't about that.
Why does it matter? Why does it matter? I'll reset the whole dang oath we've taken upon being sworn into service if I can. But at this point, it seems too late to remind him of that. He's probably already moved from serving and protecting people to serving and protecting his own interests. Dang it. Suspected the upper brass of this, even the lower rank subordinates of the force. But for my own boss? Uh-oh. I wonder that leak didn't lead anyway. Someone closer might have been pulling the strings. Might have been set up to fail long before the case been assigned to me. Okay, now, he's totally not evil because Ashton's onto him. But I don't want to just give this up. I want to believe I've wasted an entire year for this. I want this to be the kind of news to tell Professor Clark, for all those promises I've given the man. I want this to end here. This might still have a connection with what happened to Isabella, like I first assumed. Chasing a real person is easier than chasing those supernatural things. But God, I'm right on this one.
I just want to know, sir, at the party, with Luke and Hannah Wright, you were...
Monday, Detective Inspector. First thing in the morning. Every copy of the files you have, I want to see all on my table, understood?
This isn't...
Frey, am I understood?
What else can I do other than smile and nod? My own superior expecting an answer, using that tone, brushing my questions off as easy as discarding a dead body.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Looks so sad. He gets the line as soon as the words are out. You're off the case, Frey. Just like that. Funny why this still caught me off guard. Discovered 10 years ago how different the actual thing is. How far from reality everything I believed in as a dreamy-eyed kid. There are no high-speed pursuits every day, no thrilling gunfights, exciting cases every step of the way. The paperwork, lots of red tape, dealing with the politics and bureaucracy. Set out to change things. Hoping it'll make things better for the people I care about. It ended up changing me instead. Serves me right for being too idealistic, guess? It's probably the universe telling me that it's better to remain the skeptic I really am. Now, here I am, standing useless. Can't even do anything but grit my teeth and kick the wall. The guy didn't even acknowledge my response.
What did the poor wall ever do to you?
Is that Rebecca? Yeah, I'm gonna call it that. Oh, I want to see her sprite. She's not actually evil.
Rebecca.
Okay, she's not a ghost. She's not Ghost Rebecca. Okay. See you guys next time. Bye.